How's it going, guys? It's Mr. Lone Wolf. Today I'm going to go and do a mission on like my newer gameplay called Wet Harvest. Sounds pretty good to me. You got to go and get 2 wooden planks, some metal beams, and 2 lots of bricks. So I've got to go to the wood yard, the sawmill, whatever it's called. The place where you get metal planks. It's just like in the middle of the town. It doesn't specifically strike me as a metal beam kind of place. And then the bricks are kind of on the right hand side of the map. A little warehouse. They didn't really use that warehouse a whole lot, all things considered. And I'm going to take the Twinsteer out. I've bought this one, so I've not gone to what's it called, Island Lake yet, and grabbed that. So this one's hard-earned glitch money, and it's basically completely stock. I don't even think I've been able to change the tyres on it since. But to be fair, I mean that's kind of the reason I've been testing some of these out. It's a pretty good excuse. I could have just essentially do the bare minimum of contracts, get through the missions, unlock all the upgrades, and then kind of go through my gameplay with fully upgraded stuff, which in some ways I did want to, because it would have been nice to try some of my fully upgraded stuff on these kind of missions. But to be fair, I suppose one thing I've noticed since going back and playing like this newer game where most of the things I'm driving are stock or pretty close, is there isn't actually an insane amount of difference between stock trucks and a fully upgraded truck. There is in terms of like if you go and do a competition or a contest, whatever they're called, you will obviously get a faster time because you've got the option to go into the high range gear, and so the high range gear is probably a biggie. I think if I was able to, which I will go and do at some point, go and get the high range gearbox and stick it even in this now as a stock truck, it's going to be a little bit slower because it's got smaller tyres, and I believe in this game, like, if the gearboxes are the same, one revolution of the tyre, obviously the bigger the tyre, the further you're going to travel in that time. And I've said it before, that's why I think this Twinsteer, I believe, is like the fastest thing in the game in high range, because it's the biggest truck with the biggest tyres that you can actually have a high range gearbox in it. So it motors along pretty nicely. But I mean, I've been driving the Taiga stock, I've been driving the Voron stock, this thing stock. And I had a quick attempt with John stock, but it's just too slow for me. I can't bear it, especially on a map like this, because it's got quite a lot of roads and stuff on it. When you go in, like just 5 mile an hour or something, it's just not enough. It'd make more sense on a Mandra maybe, because it doesn't feel as crazy then. And I'm definitely liking back being on this map, to be honest. A lot more. I've always quite liked Black River. I said it the other day as well. I think they did pretty good. That's what I think this game. I was thinking about it earlier. It's like they need to add about 20 to 50% more redneck to this game. Like, there's a lot of seriousness. Feels like quite Russian Russian seriousness, but need a little bit of redneck good times. Like I said, stick a monster truck in here. It's not going to harm anyone. If someone doesn't want a monster truck, then don't drive it. But it'd be nice to explore those kind of things. Especially like, I suppose even some of the smaller vehicles, like the CK. If you could have the CK 1500 but put the equivalent of, say, the Taiga muds on it, that'd actually be pretty cool. It'd kind of be like a mini monster truck / an actual one, depending how much they raise the suspension and everything. But I just think it'd be pretty cool, stuff like that. But anyway, as far as some of like the stock versions of these trucks go in that, they are actually not too bad. Like I say, I think one of the big things they need to focus on is just doing something with the tyres, because I actually think, again, having played back with the stock stuff, there isn't a whole lot of difference, but I believe the tyres is like the main factor. But then I don't think the tyres follow like the level of upgrades kind of thing. It's like even when you put the better engines and stuff, you are kind of held back in the end by that. Anyway, we get to this, what is supposedly a metal beam yard. I've only got to get 1 set of them. Nailed the trailer. Just parking it. Got them professional. I was only flicking through my trucks. I was going to bring a trailer originally and just do it that way, and then I got down to the Twinsteer. I was like, go on then. See there, that's what playing Grand Theft Auto for too long. I was just going to smash that fire hydrant out of the way, and it was only kind of like mid-turn I kind of realised that, oh yeah, shit, I'm not on Grand Theft Auto, and that thing will nail me. Just run over someone's mailbox. Funny, I've seen a video the other day where we don't have mailboxes over here, but I've seen in America, and I assume it's a bit of a cliche for like teenagers or whatever driving to run over people's mailboxes. So I've seen some guy that had basically filled his mailbox with concrete and just had a little tube in the middle where they can like slot the letters in. But yeah, I assume he's waiting one day someone will go crashing into it and smash their truck up to pieces or whatever, which is pretty funny. It reminds me of like when I was younger years ago, I used to live up north more. I knew a guy there, and he was basically saying, and he was actually a pretty sound dude, but he fully admits that he deserved what happened. Anyway, obviously, especially up north, it snows a bit more. So, in the village he lived, someone kept building a snowman, and him and his mate kept running over and kicking this snowman and destroying it, which I know it's pretty hard. Like, you definitely deserve what's coming. So anyway, the next year, that family or whatever built another snowman, and then he went running over to kick it, and yeah, they'd put a concrete post in the middle of it. Like, there wasn't even a concrete post in the garden. They'd definitely dug into the garden, put a concrete post in there, and then built a snowman around it, knowing full well that him or his mate or whatever would probably come back and kick it over. And yeah, he broke his own foot. Which, again, he's like, yep, absolutely 100% deserved it. And like I say, he was actually a pretty, like, nice, level-headed dude in the end, so, yeah, probably taught him a bit of karma nice and early. That's the thing, like, that's what kids don't know what they're missing these days, not getting smacked. I was thinking as well, you think how good it was getting smacked. Like, one thing I have the ability to do that a child these days couldn't do is I can make my ass vanish in an instant. Because you remember when, like, your mum or dad or whatever tried to hit you, and you do that little dance where, yeah, like, your ass vanishes, you try and run your legs forward quicker than your body can go, and that's it. Like, that's an essential life skill. Like, if war breaks out, which, I mean, who knows with the crazy world, like, I'm statistically less likely to get shot in the ass than somebody born 10 years later than me. And I even have more experience with not getting shot in the nipple. But you see, that's why I got shot in the nipple, because I was never slapped in the tits as a kid, so they didn't develop the evasive manoeuvres that my ass did. If I had to go to prison, I'm laughing. I don't have to worry about dropping the soap. I got pinned down in the showers. They'd be like, what the hell? His ass just vanished. Well, you're goddamn right. I ain't coming back until I get the green light from probation. You may as well move on. Pass me the soap while you're at it. I've got some ankles to keep clean. Anyway, back to the subject for once. Yeah, by the way, I could have just gone back through town, back past the fuel station and cut down to the woodyard that way, but to be honest, I kind of wanted to push my luck a bit, and I cut across, well yeah, as you see in the water basically, back to where that drilling site is. And it was a pretty good route in the end, considering this thing's stock. It did pretty well. I put it in low range diffs on going through the water, but I reckon it still would have got through there in auto. Certainly not as comfortably. One thing I would say with this Twinsteer, even though it is pretty decent in a stock form, particularly on a Black River, you definitely, like, having the all-wheel drive is nice. That'd be one upgrade that I would like sooner rather than later. Because even though this thing's pretty decent for power, even with the standard engine it's got in, I've not even got the top engine for it yet, but yeah, just because the like front set of wheels and the rear set of wheels are so far apart from each other that you just kind of need power both ends really, so actually sometimes you've not got the best grip on the rear axles and so on, and yeah, it definitely helps a lot. So anyway, yeah, grabbed a bit of wood, that's what she said, and we're off. So now I've basically got to take this to the farm, and then I've got to go, yeah, up kind of like the right hand side of the map, basically along the same path I do on my review video, and then yeah, there's a warehouse off to the right, which, like I said, didn't really get a whole lot of use on this map, all things considered. It's like its own little road weaving off to the warehouse, but yeah, I believe I only did like a mission or so there. I was looking at a house, so I thought I'd just like somewhere like that in the middle of nowhere. There's an even better house on here somewhere when I was looking for the upgrades. Definitely prefer being out in the sticks. So it's places like motoring up here where not having that high range gear just does limit you just a little. Not really limit you, but yeah, I like. It's kind of. I think it is actually pretty realistic in this game as far as this mechanic goes, but obviously, like, once you the high gear kind of gives you enough speed that you can carry your own inertia and weight and momentum kind of through some patches of like pretty rough off-road bits, whereas yeah, when you're in the high gear, like especially as that hill was like took quite a long time to get up, it just eventually you lose your momentum, and then yeah, you just kind of now go into slow mode, which like I said I would say is more realistic, because if you're going to drive through like some boggy, muddy area, it certainly helps if you got a little bit of a run up and you can keep your speed going. Head to that corner pretty nicely for once, almost overcooked it, but we're all good. And people have said before, and it's true, I suppose driving it now, this thing without the raised suspension on it obviously doesn't quite tip over as easily. It helps keep the weight pretty low. Even going around here, I'd certainly say with raised suspension and the bigger tyres and everything, it'd probably be fairly likely to try and tip over then. This is one of those trucks though, to be honest, thinking about it, when like mods and everything are available, obviously there's things you could do with this. I could certainly see it'd be pretty cool if you could put like a fifth wheel or saddle, whatever the hell it calls it in this game. Yeah, towards the back of this truck, you can, in real life, there's like a hydraulic fifth wheel that flips out from the back, but this thing's actually pretty solid as far as all the things it needs in this game. It's got pretty decent engine power, especially now they've added that all-wheel drive. That's kind of like a biggie that, if it didn't have that option, it'd certainly, yeah, could do with that. I could see that mods happening, but yeah, as it is in like the, not this current state, but what you can actually get it up to, I don't think there's really a whole lot this thing needs. Even it's got pretty decent snorkels on it when you've got the top snorkels. Yeah, it can, like the front floats, the rear doesn't, so it drives through water that's pretty deep. Like I said, it's got pretty decent engine power and all sorts. I apologise, there's a couple of glitches there. I was just motoring along, not really paying attention. And I was just about to head to the garage. Fortunately, and you just went past the farm. I was like, oh yeah, shit. I noticed as well with this, like the stock front bumper on, sticks out quite a lot. Like, has a bit of a chin on it with that on the go. I like the bumper on it. It sits more flush. It reminds me of a truck in Wolf Creek 2. It's a horror movie. If anyone's seen Wolf, is it? Yeah, Wolf Creek, or Wolf's Creek 2 or something. It's like a film set in Australia. I believe it's based on a true story as well, or at least the first one is, or something like that. But yeah, it's a pretty good film, pretty underrated horror films, really. I was even umming and ahhing at this point, like, if I wanted to restart the mission and then go and get the bricks and bring it back, and you know, basically so I don't ever complete the mission, so I could actually keep it. But I don't know, I'm still kind of hoping they'll offer the chance to reset it at some point. Again, I certainly can't see it happening on this next update, because I've not heard any mention of anything like that. So we're probably looking at, yeah, month, 2 months, whatever, maybe even more before, and that's if they ever do at all. So yeah, I kind of keep stopping some missions halfway through and just thinking, shall I reset them? But then at the same time, I could do with the XP to actually level up. And I don't know, I suppose in this situation I could just restage going back to like the woodyard and that metal beam place and everything, so it's not the end of the world. But yeah, I really would like the opportunity to be able to restart them. Quick bit of interior gameplay while I was heading back to the garage. I'm just going to go and get the bricks. I was only flying into the garage, just, I suppose, really to top the fuel up. Not that I reckon I could have made it there and back either way. Still got my Freightliner there, or Fleet Star, whatever the bloody hell it's called. Yeah, I'm probably going to leave that there as like a little trophy. Pretty random, but yeah, I'm not really going to use it a lot anyway. Plus, I think I can just buy one if I need one, so not really a problem. I quite like the rain in this game, by the way. Well, I changed it to like 1 in the afternoon or whatever, and yeah, sometimes on this map it rains and then I can't ever get it to be sunny. Other times it's the other way around. It'd be pretty cool if the rain did affect, you know, like, from what I've heard, and I believe it to be the case, the rain doesn't actually make any difference in this game. It's just, you know, like, superficial or whatever. It's just there for the aesthetics of it. It'd be pretty cool if, like, these slightly watery, flooded areas got a little bit deeper and so on. Like, then again, there's there's enough lack of traction in this game, so it probably doesn't need any help in that direction. But it might be something they aim for in the future, I'm not sure. If not, I suppose it'd be something to add one day if they ever get as far as SnowRunner 3 or MudRunner 2 or whatever the hell we'll call it. I have to say, I do like the snow on this game, but especially doing Lake Coved and then Imandra, it was a little bit more snow than I was hoping for. Like these next map, I believe even the next map or maps are kind of half snow, half mud, which is going to be, that's pretty cool. At least it is actually a blend of both terrains, so whatever you're in the mood for, you can kind of mess around between them without actually jumping from map to map. See, it was this section here where this thing certainly felt it, especially that it's not got all-wheel drive at the minute, and again the stock engine. A biggie I'd say as well is the tyres. I can't remember off the top of my head if these are highway tyres. I think they might be, but if not, they're going to be like the next one down. But yeah, I'm only like level 4 or 5 or whatever it is at the minute, so most stuff is still locked to me at the minute. But yeah, cutting through here, it was definitely a little bit like, oh no. It was going quite nice and smoothly all the way through the mission, but yeah, I was not keen on this little stretch. Again, apologies, nailing me with the glitches. But this is that thing where if you can carry your sort of inertia and momentum a bit, you can kind of just plough your way across it. That's a biggie with this though, just not having that high range gear. Like someone was saying in the comments the other week, and it's that they reckon the high range gear is kind of like OP and broken, and I get what they're saying, relatively speaking. Like the high range is seriously good in this game, like considering how much faffing around you can have in the auto gears. Obviously the 3 low range options, as great as they are grip wise, they're just automatically slow. As long as you have got a bit of momentum going, like this thing in high range absolutely just smashes its way through most terrains. Obviously if you hit like that Devil's Mud section in Northport or whatever, that's going to hold you up. But yeah, generally speaking, like that's what I like about the high range. You can definitely sort of brute force your way through some terrain, and yeah, nothing really brute forces its way through the terrain better than this. Still got the turning circle of a cargo ship. Although I've said before, to be fair, the steering angle isn't actually that bad on it, it's just because the thing's so bloody long. Yeah, that's what she said. And yeah, that's it. It's like, even if the wheels could turn 90 degrees, you're still going to be like the big minute hand of a clock spinning round or whatever. I went to make this corner, absolutely fluffed it. Again though, having the longer bumper kind of throws me off a little bit, because yeah, I keep just smashing the chin into everything a bit sooner than planned. Like so. So that's another way I think where the Twinsteer, like it had pretty good, well, it's still got pretty good fuel, but where I was saying before, they kind of balanced it with it being only rear wheel drive in mind. So it had things like pretty decent fuel, and then now they have added all wheel drive, they've not really punished the truck in any other way to balance it back out, and I don't think they should. Like, if anything, again, they need to just up everything a little bit by now, or not even have to up everything by now, just offer the chance of, say, yeah, just add like another engine that's even a little bit more meaty than the rest. But again, I still think they're kind of just going to sit back and let mods sort that out, which in some ways is good, but in some ways it's a little bit... The thing I find weird, though, is that people have been saying that you can't get any mods for the Apache, like they keep removing them, which, yeah, I don't agree with that. Like, they should have made that pretty clear when they were selling the Apache, like, you can only have it in this stock configuration and we'll remove any mods or whatever. I'm sure there's people that are getting away with some mods, but I keep hearing like they keep removing them and so on, so I think it's a bit of an ongoing kind of back and forth. Same with the Navistar, apparently. I was driving the Navistar around tonight. The Navistar it's funny, it's I wouldn't say it's a really good truck. Like, some people said it was OP for the start of this game, and I honestly think after driving like this Twinsteer, the Voron AE, the Taiga, I would say they probably can handle more stuff than the Navistar, but the one thing I do like about the Navistar, it does feel very realistic in this game, and it's quite nice that it's kind of the truck it is, and it's sort of unique. And I definitely would say, like, the Apache, I wouldn't waste your money buying it. The car Marshall, there's no point in buying it, but I kind of reluctantly, because I don't want to promote DLC as such, but the Navistar is actually worth the money. Like, I'm pretty glad I've got that. Yeah, nearly went to the garage last second. I was like, oh yeah, shit, farm. Keep reminding myself. And yeah, but it just, the characteristics of it just handle pretty nicely, and it's like, it does feel realistic. It feels pretty realistically weighted, pretty realistically powered, and all the rest of it. And it just overall, it's quite a nice experience to drive the truck. And yeah, you can see once this thing winds up into 5th out of 5th in auto, it still motors along pretty nicely. Quite nice engine sounds as well, I'll give it that. But yeah, anyway, that's about it for today's mission. Like I say, it's pretty good going back and doing these sort of that are not too insane. Again, the train's not crazy, it's just kind of like, got to cruise around, grab some different bits and bobs. It's more kind of the level of missions I like, really. But yeah, they're keeping me busy until this next DLC arrives. Fingers crossed, sooner rather than later. And that's it. Like I said, I'm not too fussed about the money, but I'll take the XP. Anyway, like I said, that's about it for today though. I hope you've enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon.